So finally we are doing numerical discrete. How do we know it's numerical discrete? So the question is, how many bits of bread do you eat per day? It counts a number of things. Yep, the number of bits of bread. Simple as that. So I've surveyed some people. How many bits of bread do you eat per day? And they've given me this. I'll get rid of that. That's off the previous one. So let's put our chart in. Yep. And once again, we only care about this column. And then we can put in how many bits people might eat. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or more. Cool. And once again, yeah, we don't need series 2 or series 3. So we can find this little thing, little arrow, and then just Thanos snap those two. Cool. And then we've got to go back to our table. How many bits? So how many people eat 0 bits of bread per day? Only one person. So 1. How many people eat 1 piece? 3. How many people eat 2 bits? 4. And then eat 3, 1, and then 4, 1. Nobody eats 5 or 6 or more bits of bread. Let's go back. That's what that looks like. Now, if we really wanted to, we could actually make our graph. We could just get rid of these 5 and 6 because there's no one there. Like, there's not even any point to having it. So if we want to edit any part of our graph, we right-click on the graph and then see where it says Edit Data. We click on that, and then it will bring up this again. And if we don't want the 5 and 6, if we don't want any of this, we get our little that bit and we just go boonk, boonk, bye-bye. Now it looks like that. And we can probably get rid of bits per day, or, yep, get rid of that. And then move it down. Now, by now you should know how to answer the analysis and you should know how to answer the interpretation. This is left over from your height, that previous video that you should have watched. So you should have an idea of how to answer even this. Analysis would be like, well, 2 bits of bread is eaten the most, and then 0, 3, and 4 are equal minimum. Please send me an email or a daymap message if you need any help with any of this stuff. It's due next Wednesday, but you're away on camp Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So unless you want to do it when you get home Wednesday night, I'd really recommend doing it like tomorrow and Friday. Do it a bit on the weekend, but you're just going to be getting ready to go for camp. So ideally, just do it in this lesson. Just don't waste this lesson. Get it done. I'll probably have my emails and daymap messages open during your lesson. But if I don't, I'll get back to you by the end of the day, and then just get it done. Ask me for help, but just get it done as soon as possible. Finally, we've got our conclusions. Now, I've only done the conclusion for the transport going to school and height of people. I haven't done a conclusion for how many bits of bread, but it's all pretty similar. So you're going to say, like, what did your survey data show? So try to pick like an interesting fact. Showed that people like to go to school via car the most. That's probably the main thing. That's the most popular. But is it reliable? It's hard to say. I think asking 10 people might not be good enough. I mean, it's a pretty good representation, but if I went and asked 100 people, I'd have a much better idea. What I do know is that my data can't be applied to other schools because Oakbank is out in the country. We call it the country. It's probably rural, semi-rural, whatever. It's not middle of nowhere, but out in the country. So we can't just take this graph and be like, oh yeah, kids that go to Glenunga or kids that go to like CBC in the city, we can't really apply this to them because they don't live in the country and they will probably use different modes of transport of getting to school. Like, a lot of them probably walk. I've said down here, a lot of them probably walk or ride their bikes because they've got lots of footpaths and infrastructure in Adelaide to do that. Whereas out at Oakbank, like, yeah, you got a footpath, but some kids live out on a farm. They live like probably 5-10 k's away, which is just not realistic to walk or bike to school. Next one, height of people. So one observation that I made was that, yeah, people's height were pretty close to each other, except for that really short person. No, it's not here. Yep. So try to find something interesting. I say my data is fairly reliable. Like, I didn't just go around the classroom and picked all the tall people. Like, I tried to pick a good spread of people. And you could say because I didn't survey everyone, it's not completely reliable, because I was probably trying to pick a good spread of people. But, fairly reliable. If I just picked tall people, it wouldn't be very good, because it's not a representation of the whole class, because I'm missing out on all the short people. Now, my data probably can be applied to other classes. Probably not year levels, but not year levels. Schools, I don't know. Let's forget about schools. Other year 8 classes. So basically, like, we're assuming that in year 8, people are going to be shorter than people in year 9. Kind of like if you're in year 1, you're going to be shorter than people in year 10 because you grow. That's what being a human's all about. So next year, all of you will be, on average, slightly taller than you are now, because people are going to hit their growth spurts. No one's really going to grow any smaller unless they lose both their legs or something, but that's a really extreme case and will probably never happen. If I surveyed like 42-year-olds, I can probably apply the data, because 42-year-olds are not going to be much shorter or taller than 43-year-olds, because everyone's done their growing by then. Whereas in year 8, like, I reckon when I was in year 8, I was probably like 160 centimeters tall, but by the time I end of year 9, I was like 180. So I'd grown 20 centimeters because I had a growth spurt, because you're going through puberty. That's what's going to happen when you're in year 8 and year 9. Not so much when you're 42 years old. So try to do really good explanations for this stuff. Don't just do like, my survey data showed that people travel to school, because that doesn't tell me anything. That tells me you know how to use like year 3 English. So try to use as much info as possible. Ask me if you've got any questions. I'll be happy to help.